There we go. Right. Right. Just pull this down here. So gold is one that I am monitoring. I'm being patient. I don't want to rush in yet because obviously we've got to be careful about the, stop loss. I know that obviously no one likes too big a stop loss, but probably mine would have been down here if I was honest. But I think we've got to keep it a bit tight for everybody. But obviously got to be patient. I want to see what it does if it comes back and retests this Asian high. Looking at the dollar here. All right, so dollar has t t tanked. Why is it tanked? We've actually had yeah, but basically negative inflation data. All right, which is obviously going to, encourage the Fed even more to, lower interest rates, which is obviously going to reduce the amount of, yes, it's going to obviously help the economy, but obviously it's going to reduce the investment into the dollar. I'm interested to see obviously what happens here. We can see here we've obviously had this drawn out here. This is obviously our consolidation here. We've obviously this looks like a huge move, but actually we've broken out of this twice and obviously we tested. So we do need to be aware of that. But if this holds and then continues to the downside, then we're going to be trying to hop on something which is going to be quite nice. Euro, sorry, GBP AUD is one. I've been monitoring it, but I just worry that it's gone. I think 15 minute. If we can come back and retest this, then potentially might be looking to hop in this again. But I do think as a whole, this would be quite a good pair for us to enter if we make it 20 pips this time. This would be quite a good trade for us to enter because obviously one, we got a very, very strong pound. It's the strongest performing pair today. And number two, obviously Aussie is going to be, slightly weaker. However, if gold does manage to get away, which is what it's looking like, then yeah, that's gonna strengthen Aussie up ever so, slightly. The other one I liked was obviously Aussie JPY, and also I think Euro too, but obviously Euro again looks like it's gone. And obviously if we get this commodity, strength, then yeah, we're gonna kind of lose this trade too. It's not a very easy time to trade, but as you can see here, all right, this is why I wait until two, all right? Today is a prime example, right? You had this huge move here. Everyone's expecting price to carry on driving to the downside, yeah? What ends up happening? Everyone gets caught because it rejects up. If we look on a 5 minute here, it spikes up and then just continues. And obviously, this is where you do have to be careful. Gold too. If you look at obviously gold here, well, obviously had this push up, melt that down. Here was the entry here, but I was obviously happy to enter on this Asian high here. Sorry, Asian low here too. Once that broke, I think we should continue up at least to this Asian high, but let's wait and see. It all depends on how the dollar reacts. If this holds, then we're going to want to be playing it against the strongest pairs, which is going to be pound, euro, and NZD. I also like Aussie. So Aussie, I think it was Aussie. No, Aussie AUD USD. Yeah, I like this. And so this is obviously one that I'm monitoring here. All right. Yes, we've obviously had this huge pile up here. However, if we do continue to get dollar weakness, if we start to reject again, then obviously that's going to push up Aussie. And obviously we've moved the most because it's particularly weak overall. So then we want to be looking right, where could it potentially come in and test? It's not going to be there. It could potentially be this area here. All right. So this area here could be our kind of golden zone here. So we just want it to drop a bit. However, what I don't like is obviously we've got an equal high here, which we've rejected to a T, and obviously we're continuing. So we're gonna have to wait and see, obviously what happens here. Dollar is looking strong, but we're gonna have to just hold off, the bit of time. We might find too that if gold, if this is classed as one big move on gold, which if we look at this on the 4 hour, it probably is. Let's have a look on the hourly. Uh, Hourly, yeah, could argue gold's messy in regards to trend, but obviously, as we can see, we've got a lot of support around this area. So let's wait and see. Pound yen is flying because obviously yen's weak, and obviously, but yeah, pound is strong. Do you know what? I was very, very close to posting this in the group here, but I didn't want to push it as it's Friday. So. Let's wait and see. Yeah, like I'd said, yen is really weak. So look, CAD could be one here. Let me just check this chat. What did you mean by the break of the Asian load? So that's obviously what one of the things I like about having these volume indicators. This is the volume over the Asian trading session here. All right, we've got the Asian high and the Asian low here, and then we've got London high, London low here. These will always have dictate what's kind of happening here, so mainly Asia, they can be classed as key levels. So I do like Asian, trading off Asia, especially gold. You can see here that this is the Asian session here. If you've obviously missed this entry here, then you want to be looking at Asia. So obviously that's the lowest point that Asian session trended at, and this is the highest point. So this is one of the good things about using the volume tool here. Aussie, I do like this. If obviously we get some dollar weakness here, potentially would like to break again the Asian high. We've had a nice rejection here. Um, so this is one I'm going to be looking out for here. It isn't a particularly big trade, but obviously it's one which I potentially think might have some stance here. So as long as the dollar obviously um weakens overall, which I think I'm in two minds, at the moment. I'm in two minds what it's gonna do. So that's why I've written Goldie buy in the group. I've just realized that. AUD. So obviously always gotta wait. So let's wait and see. Obviously CAD, JPY, I can't quite like this. All the other CAD pairs are trending, but obviously again, dollar is the one here. So if it's just a horrible, horrible, horrible time this. So need to be careful. Do you see Euro USD trade buy if dollar weakens? Yes, in regards to fundamentals. I do like I'd like this to trade down a little bit lower, potentially hitting this. I'd love this entry here. That would be a perfect Euro USD buy here. But again, look how much we've kind of, moved overall. So we do need to be a little bit patient, all right? Because, this is a huge move here, all right? So don't risk it's Friday. Yeah, because we've probably got a good few hours, 3 hours, and then obviously we've got to then accept, yes, it's Friday, and we're going to get some crazy, flows here. If gold comes back, I did take this on the bigger count, but obviously I didn't want to take it on the copier because it was very, very high risk. But yeah, if this comes back, we want to be monitoring to see what's going to happen around here. Are we going to trend to the upside or are we going to trend to the downside? We obviously it's all going to be dictated from the dollar. But like I said, this our consolidation level is holding. So euro. I mean, it's very, very messy. I'm trying to find a reason to enter, but obviously, I hate this candle here. It's just like entering in, no man's land. I think Euro, we need to be, if it happens, we need to be entering from down here and then up, in my opinion. GBP, very, very similar. USD CAD. I prefer the look of Aussie just because I've got reason and rhyme behind obviously why to enter it. Yen pairs, mm, obviously the only one I quite like if yen carries on trending would be CAD. Broken back through Asia, we've broken through the London opening range here. However, what I don't like is we are trending to the downside there. So we do need to be a bit careful. USD JPY. I mean, is the US dollar weaker than yen? I did post it in the group, the Dom. It says, would you notify us in the group if you're taking any trades? Uh, AUD, yes, you want to obviously wait for it to break through. The retest is in its checking on 15 minutes. So yeah, so AUD USD, like I mentioned here, follow these golden arrows here because yeah, we want to see a nice break, retest, and then continuation because we're obviously monitoring the dollar here. All right, this for all we know might just continue up and then it's going to write off these trades here. GBP AUD, I really like this. This is probably better than anything, but it's just trying to make sure that we're entering at the right place. I actually like this and I'm going to enter it. So GBP AUD, there we go. I'm going to post this in the group. I just think, we're obviously playing pound, which is the strongest performing pair, against the US dollar, which is one of the weakest pairs. Gold's not going to trend too much higher, so we should, like this morning, this ended up traveling up nicely. It just obviously stopped us out ever so slightly beforehand, but obviously we got the direction correct. So I like this one too. And I've entered this one personally. So GBP AUD buy. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. I might be open to just extending these, slightly because we might come in and test this area here, and then I might just move this out and then obviously move it back. But let's wait and see. Obviously, pound, euro. Yen pairs will trend higher if USD trends higher. If not, this might not be a bad little, sell here. We're obviously probably from here, but let's wait and see how the dollar. This would be obviously our golden zone area. All right. And it would be based on if we get some dollar weakness here. So potentially needs like one more candle. And then obviously we can see if we can capitalize off of this. So let's wait and see. Let's have a look at the 5 minute. I'm gonna put this one into USD JPY to the downside, just equaling these lows here. Nice 16 pip stop loss. Not too bad. This one's obviously a little bit more risky, but I think I just can't see dollar pumping. too much more. So let's just tweak this up. And then we'll potentially look to enter this one as well. We'll do both. There we go. Both there. GBP AUD starting to trend up, which is what we wanted. Very, very nice. How's gold doing? Gold should start to come down. And then we can monitor what it does here, and then we can wait and see what happens here. So yeah, let's go through here. How will the upcoming news change anything? What have we got? PMI. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Obviously that's gonna change. Potentially just a little bit change the strength of the dollar, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. I mean, as Donald Trump's been so, adamant about this Chinese deal, one of the biggest things that it affects is manufacturing. So yeah, we'll obviously have to wait and see how that plays out. So yeah. If you had to pick, I don't know, but I like JBP AUD just because pound is so strong. And obviously AUD is one of the weaker pairs. However, if gold, carries on pumping, which I don't know if it would. There's obviously been a lot of profits off the table here. So yeah, that would be my bet. Or obviously, like I'd said, I like the idea of I like that trending wise, even if we're going from body to body here, we've technically broken, the structure on USD JPY. So potentially could see this one melt to the downside too. So I like both of these. But yeah, let's wait and see, how we get on. Um, AUD USD, probably not, but we're obviously, I want to see a nice clean break from here. Um, I think that was all, wasn't it? We've done gold, AUD USD, we've done USD to JPY, and obviously GBP AUD. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. That is about it from, me. It's gonna be today or this afternoon, just monitoring the dollars, whether this level holds or it breaks. So we're gonna have to wait and see how that, kind of plays out. But obviously we've broken through on the hourly, 4 hourly, not yet. We could still, be back trending in this consolidation zone here. So let's wait and see. Um, but yeah, right. I'm gonna hold it off here. Um, so yeah, I hope everyone has a great afternoon. Obviously, there won't be any more lives until Sunday evening. So yeah, appreciate obviously all you guys turning up. And yeah, let's smash it. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one. Let me know actually before you go. Let me know whether I'm obviously happy to make a few educational videos, or even if you want, psychology, how to set goals up, obviously I'm happy to do this. So, make sure you obviously, send me some video ideas in. Have a good one.